Who says you can't go back home? This is Tunnel, New York, today, 2014. And as you can see, it's a hot summer day in July, and you can see that the door that's been installed up above is open, and you can see the other end. They've squared this entrance, but when you look down, the oval is still on the other end of it, because the light showing through is an oval. But many memories here, but it has changed. Many memories indeed. But still, the Saratoga trunk line is written by Edna Ferber in a fictional novel, and the area where the National Railroad lights were determined in 1869 with a small battle, nowhere near the kind of battles that they had during the Civil War just a few years earlier. 1869 was only a few years after the Civil War. So anyway, I'm going to kind of talk through a little bit of a tour here. And this is the tunnel side of the tunnel now. It used to be that it looked just a little bit different. It looks like the steps have changed. And as I look around, one thing with tunnel, there's always been plenty of trees. The woods are still here. I used to walk them all when I was a kid. It used to be pretty safe to walk them when I was a kid, because not as many wild animals. There's getting to be more wild animals now than there was when I was a kid. All in the name of environmentalism. Whether or not it's actually good environmentalism, it seems that environmentalists very often talk about saving things without thinking about what they're going to do to the environment. I mean, I don't know. Is it a good thing to have more wild animals saved, species saved that were near extinction when I was a child, but yet species that can pass diseases into the human population? Yeah. Of course, the environmentalists will say, yeah, there's no guarantee that anything we do with the environment is right, because unless you don't buy into the theory of evolution, the planet evolves regardless what condition the planet is in. Now, a whole lot of people don't buy into evolution. They think you can just freeze the Earth in one spot, and it's going to stay that way forever. But hey, this has changed a lot when I was a kid. Change happens. You have to accept it. I mean, the light tower that used to be there is gone. I have an old movie of that. And there was a small light tower there now. It's nowhere near the size of the old one. The old one must have probably rusted out. Everything changes. Change is a reality. But environmentalists can't deal with that. They think that because something becomes extinct, that it's the end of the planet. No. Because the weather gets warmer on one stretch, it's the end of the planet. No. Because weather gets colder at another point, it's the end of the planet. No. Because there's a storm, it's the end of the planet. No. I learned when I was a child, it's called Chicken Little. The sky is falling. To the environmentalist, the sky is falling. And it's kind of sad, because environmentalism is not like that. Now, speaking of change, let me see if I can zoom in on this. It's no longer my house, but I lived here once. Actually, the old place looks like much better than when I was living there last. So that's still there. Same house, different owners, and they're doing a beautiful job. The pond that you see in front of me here was not here when I was young. And I remember the people were all here. Although now, if I took a trip up to the New Ohio Cemetery, a lot of them are up there. buried under 6 feet of rural ground, and burial vaults, and coffins, other things. And some of the other people that lived here when I was younger are no longer here. Somebody else owns them. Change happens. However, you have to remember what the effects of change can be. That's what doesn't make sense sometimes. Sometimes, you know, things happen for a reason. Sometimes they happen for the wrong reason. Reason being that man interferes. I mean, back in the 1950s, there was a lot of sci-fi movies made about man interfering with the environment and their catastrophic results. And I honestly feel those movies had a point. Even though the sci-fi movies are kind of hokey nowadays, or those days, the point was that man can unintentionally cause things. And I still think that's true, and I think environmentalists are the biggest danger to the environment that there is. Now, in the meantime, this is the house that used to belong to Nancy and Perry Miller back in the old days, and their children. So I thought I'd put it here. I'd give them a kick out of seeing this. Is the back of their house, and I'd give them a kick out of seeing this if they see this on YouTube, because here is the pond with a dock in behind what used to be their house. That pond didn't used to be there. Isn't that nice? And of course, when you look up the hill, you still got the old barn when we were kids that was owned by the Wallings, and I believe the Wallings are still there. So that hasn't changed. Isn't that amazing? So much has. And regardless of what change happens, things go on. The only thing that doesn't go on is particular people. And when your life is done, on Earth anyways, it's gone. That's why I mentioned the Ohio Cemetery, because those people that are up there now are gone, and that's a change for me, but it's a change that, you know, more or less permanent. And it's amazing. Sometimes houses survive, but people don't. Sometimes the houses don't even survive. Now, let's see, in the meantime, on a little walking tour here. This used to be the nurse residence when I was a kid. No longer. As a matter of fact, everybody lived there now. I think the only one left is Wally. All the rest of them are gone too. And the house is essentially the same, but it's not the same. Those buildings that used to be here aren't here anymore. One of the old post offices used to sit right here in front of, I believe this is still Green's house. Green family. It says 701 in front of it. Green's house. Still there. I believe the kids are all grown up and gone. I'm not sure. I think mom or dad or whoever are still here. Not sure, you know. I'd have to ask. And if they see this on YouTube, I suppose they can